This video is brought to you by the Fair Use Act. Hi, I'm doing something a bit different today. This isn't a review or a showcase, but it is based on dolls. As you may have noticed from the title, I'm going to be adjusting and rewriting the characters Sunny and Luna from the web series Rainbow High. I want to quickly say that this video is highly referencing and inspired by Kalimara's character rewrite content found here, so please give them a subscription. I also want to say that this information comes from the fact that I'm autistic and a lot of things I've learned in the autistic community. Also, this is just for fun and meant to be a lighthearted exploration and expansion of existing characters, and not a presentation for an angry debate. With that in mind, let's start the video. So what are some existing issues and stuff I would like to change? Well, I actually really love Luna and Sunny as they are. They are my favorite characters, which is why I actually chose them to add more depth to. I guess this isn't really much of a rewrite, as it is just adding on to more character depth based on existing ideas. However, in the web series, I feel like their characters are underutilized, underwhelming compared to the possibility they hold. I'm going to add to them in this rewrite and make them canonically autistic, and base their autistic traits on traits they already exhibit in the show. Specifically, Sunny will have more hyposensitive traits, and Luna will have hypersensative traits. In terms of representation purposes, this is not only to show how different variants of autistic traits look in two different people, but also to introduce what hypersensitivity and hyposensitivity can look like and how those experience it can cope. Also, it's important to state that not all autistic people are one way or the other, and I would see Luna and Sunny's rewrite from the perspective of being umbrella characters that anyone could relate to. I'm also going to plan for them to be undiagnosed to begin with, and to show how that affects themselves and their relationship with each other, and finally eventually show how they can both go to Rainbow High and Shadow High, and admire that you can have different traits, preferences, and sensitivities, but still be able to appreciate and admire each other's ideas. So let's review my vision of the overall Madison family. What we know about the show, all of Sunny's family has attended Rainbow High. This is huge and shows a lot about the family's history. 1, this shows that the family has a dominant interest in creative media, and 2, that trying to break out of this expectation to attend this school may feel unusual or scary, even with the family's support. In this version of the Madison family, very specific traits have been passed down, such as a creative media interest, hyposensitivity as a dominant trait, and none of the family members have been diagnosed as autistic. For the 2 sisters, I think Sunny shares most of the hyposensitive traits, while Luna is actually hypersensitive, being one of the only ones in her family with these hypersensitive needs. Because the parents are unaware of her autistic traits, they often don't know how to help her, causing a rift between them. Now that we know all that, let's start rewriting Sunny. Sunny probably won't change much. She's still going to be happy and interested in animation. For her autistic traits, she is more hyposensitive when it comes to her sensory needs. Hyposensitivity is having a decreased sensory input, which means that most sensory things like from hearing to smelling impact her far less, and she doesn't feel them as intensely as most neurotypical people do. For Sunny, she might not realize that she's hungry or experiencing hunger. She also might bump into people or walls due to a lack of spatial awareness. There's also a chance that she also might have a hard time hearing or may have delayed processing with instructions. Her stimming, which is self-regulation for autistic people, might be more like bouncing or spinning around. We could even see her stimming in the show, where she bounces in place to cope with the new experience. I also think that Sunny loves color organization. We already see in the photo lineup compared to the other characters, she's the only one to actually be wearing rainbow accessories. Or maybe rainbows are one of her special interests. She might also experience some low social receptivity. This means that maybe she doesn't understand when people use sarcastic or rude comments towards her. Or maybe she has a hard time understanding her friends' boundaries, and doesn't understand why her friends would like to make changes or meet new people. Perhaps she just processes things easier in one-on-one friend groups, but doesn't know how to express it, resulting in a possessive-seeming attitude. She also might have hyperempathy with her friends. Feels concern for her friend's emotions on intense levels. This comes into play with her sister. She feels concern and fear for her sister, but feels so overwhelmed by this emotion that she doesn't even talk to Luna at all because she doesn't know what to do. Sunny also definitely has a creative media special interest hyperfixation. And it's another reason why she attends Rainbow High, a brightly colored, nicely lit school that has only focuses on animation and creative media, which she can focus on for hours at a time, and also be able to find other people who share her interests. It's no doubt that Sunny has found the school that suits her interests. Now that we've reviewed Sunny's autistic traits, it's time to take a journey to the school across the street. It's time to rewrite Luna Madison. Luna will probably have much more changes. Instead of having a decreased sensory input, she has a highly increased sensory input, which means she experiences things much more intensely than the average neurotypical. Everything, every little clothes texture, every little sound, everything affects her so much intensely. Her sensitivities definitely show in her doll especially. I mean, if you look at her doll's second outfit, it's just a jacket and a simple skirt. Nothing baggy, flashy, or uncomfortable. Well, I guess there's her dress, which most people would think is actually pretty uncomfortable. However, I have an idea of how she might be able to wear this dress when she attends Shadow High, which I'll bring up later. Luna's special interest is going to be with film. Maybe she's not very vocal about it, however she's always thinking about it. And maybe whenever she is doing her film working, she's actually so passionate to the point that it might seem rude. Maybe it's just anxiety relieving for her to be able to have full control over the project, which can interfere with other people's routines and schedules, as shown through some of her discussions with Chanel Onyx. Also, I'm not saying any of these traits are bad. I myself am very bossy and controlling in group projects, even though I don't mean to be. What's most important in this character showcase is to show that both Sunny and Luna are amazing and have a lot of talent. All they need is the right environment to fit their needs for them to be able to thrive in. Maybe Luna is also on the low social receptivity scale. Maybe she's also even overthinking or overaware of socializing, to the point of thinking many conversations have more depth than they do. Maybe she even has a hard time recognizing when her friends are trying to set boundaries with her, especially whenever she's working on one of her filming projects. Or maybe she even has rejection sensitivity, subconsciously taking her friends' need for breaks as a sign that they don't want to work with her anymore. How does all this get accommodated for whenever she attends Shadow High? Maybe Luna attends Shadow High on the suggestion of her friend, or because she is tired of feeling different from her family members, wants to embrace that difference by going to a different school. When she comes to the school, she instantly feels different. Shadow High's dark halls with minimal lighting and some magical unexplained feature that causes students to have near completely grayscale appearances is just what she needs. Maybe here, Luna realizes that she isn't really this horrible sister, but she just didn't have access to the environment that she needed. This is where Luna is more expressive, with her personality and her interests at her own comfort too. Perhaps the low stimulation environment is making her even feel like she could try some things like sensory-friendly makeup or even her silver dress, modified to accommodate her sensory needs, of course. I even did this little design of her that I think would suit her sensory needs. Just baggy, simple clothes with no accessories, and also short hair. I gave her short hair because in my personal experience, long hair is a huge sensory issue. I also didn't make her hair completely short because that would require a lot of hairdressing visits which are also sensory overwhelming in my experience. I even did this little design of when she does discover that she is autistic and gets noise-canceling headphones. And that's all for Luna Madison. But how does Sunny and Luna's rewrite affect the whole main story? Specifically the whole Shadow High versus Rainbow High plot. Well, as you would imagine, I have a lot of problems with how that's handled in the show, but that is a whole rewrite that would require a lot of lore, and let's just say that it's the same for the simplicity of this video. So Luna and Sunny at this point would realize that they are each attending the rival schools, affecting, even damaging their relationship. They already grew up not knowing how to bond with each other and not understanding each other's autistic traits. But now they both have to contribute to help their school to be the best in terms of talent. Maybe it doesn't feel as much of a competition now, as it feels like invalidating the other sibling. With no closure to their childhood relationship, I imagine the whole thing is pretty stressful. Over the next few weeks to months of competition, stress builds up. Even with both characters engaging in their interests in environments they enjoy, the situation becomes so tense that they just can't handle working, causing a meltdown for both sisters. Somehow, they meet together during a potential break during the competition. They both realize that they need to address their needs and reach their goals together. And maybe try and resolve each other's differences or just learn some time management skills. Perhaps they're going to visit a library to do some of their research together. Maybe they try and start with something like time management or how to manage anxiety. This leads them to find about mental health conditions in general, and also maybe eventually find about neurodivergency, and eventually learn about autism via some guides made by autistic people in the library. They realize how much they relate to being on the spectrum and realize that they are autistic. They still have much to learn about how to cope and much to explore with their own traits, but for now they have an answer. Armed with this new information, Luna and Sunny realize they can bond with each other. They just need to find a way to accommodate each other's needs and appreciate the way they both communicate. They look back at the Rainbow High and Shadow High rivalry that is still ongoing and realize how much they see their own conflict in it and try and present their advice. That perhaps they didn't really need a competition or a rivalry between schools. Both schools showed equal levels of talent, and the only difference was the accommodations offered. Both schools could exist naturally, happily, and Rainbow Vision could be hosted by a variety of hosts from all the schools. Perhaps this isn't what changes everything instantly. However, maybe Sunny and Luna's idea is only the start of students from both schools considering the possibility of a more inclusive and uplifting friendly competition. But with that future goal in mind, I think I'll stop the story here for now. Well, that's all I had to say for Sunny and Luna's rewrite. It's not super depthful, and it's only a small snippet of what I would like to change about Rainbow High's current writing. Rainbow High really needs so much more diversity in many aspects, from physical to invisible disabilities, to various cultural hair texture and skin tone diversity, and LGBTQ characters. I understand that Rainbow High is changing, and especially in Series 4, they're introducing so many new aspects of diversity. And while I praise that, there's still so much longer to go, and the fight for representation in media doesn't stop here. Okay, I understand that the Rainbow High web series is intended as a short, slightly cheap, very basic show with the main goal of selling products. But if your advertisement isn't a good showcase of your products, then why even use it if you're not going to make it good? Well, anyway, I hope that this little headcanon rewrite opened your mind a bit or made you feel seen. Let me know if there's any inaccurate information. I definitely know there's probably a lot of stuff I didn't cover or valuable points I might have missed, but this is just a start of Rainbow High rewrites, and with the help of kind criticism and suggestions, I can add much more to Luna and Sunny as well as add to the whole plot of Rainbow High. How would you change or rewrite Rainbow High, if you could? Do you headcanon any characters as autistic or with other neurodivergent conditions? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you for watching this video.